Good evening and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alista Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha Episode 10. Well, guys, it just goes to show that even after Minato Sensei's memory wipe, love finds a way. Why, you may ask? Well, for those who already seen the episode already knows why and how. But without going any further, let us begin our tale. Mind you, let me say this. If I don't mention Weird Sister number 3 until the very end, I say this because she doesn't do anything. Weird Sister number 3, all she does is watch the show. She gets angry after 2 of her malgams gets defeated. However, it wasn't a total loss because at the very end, she completes her mission. Now, let's start with Hotaro. In the last scene after he demorphs from his Zord form, he is in his champion form. He's fighting a tree malgam, and unfortunately his fever attack doesn't work on the tree, and he is helpless at this point, and the tree malgam decides to do a counterattack. However, his good old Go Dash, the motorcycle Kemi, comes in, protects him, and he gets a new form because of it. I know, right? Hotaro gets too many forms in one episode, and Toei, you need to chill on the new forms because at the end of the day, we're not gonna see him again after he gets his ultimate form, and then afterwards his mega form. We're not going to see any of those forms ever again. I know you're doing this to get your merch. This is just toys. I get it. But let's just call it like it is. We're not going to see him again. So chill out on those new forms because we're like on to 10 into 11 and we have 8 to 10 new forms already. I know it's over exaggerating. I know it's not over 10, but it feels like it after how many new forms in one episode. It's getting way too crazy. So, he unleashes a new form called the Gold Mecha-chan, and he quickly defeats the malgam and gets the new friend called Jugo-Jan. So, typical Hotaro. Oh, a new Kemi. I have a new friend. My name is Hotaro. What's your name? Ugh, God. I'm still waiting for Spanner to disacknowledge him and just hit him in the lower back. I'm still waiting for that. So after that victory, it was short-lived because you have Kaijiki just screaming and yelling, and he tells his best friend, like, hey, I saw my faithful encounter in the arms of another man. Dun dun dun. So I think at that point, the scene ends. We get into the opening credits, and then we go into, the new scene, the next scene. You see Kaijiki wailing, crying. He's dealing with his broken heart. And as Renge and Sabi is just standing there, not knowing what to do, and just watching Kaijiki just crying his heart's out, you have Minato Sensei talking with Kudo and Hotaro that, hey, this is not the only problem we have here, because apparently Weird Sister number 3 has unleashed another malgam, so please be on the lookout. And he mentions that this escapee is named Tsurugi Himino. he is apparently an arsonist. And according to Minato Sensei, he has the same last name as Kaijiki's faithful encounter. So chances are they're siblings. So Kaijiki, relax. They're siblings. Relax. So they split up. Kudo will deal with Kaijiki, while Minato Sensei and Hotaro are on a lookout for those two. So as they're split their separate ways, we get into the next scene with Tsurugi and Hijiri, and they're just reminiscing on their childhood. They both saw the two balls of green flame, assuming that it's a ghost or a UFO. And as they're reminiscing, we get into the next cutscene with Kudo and Sabimaru, Renge, and Kaijiki as they go to another trip into the haunted house. 3 of those kids are holding hands and getting their pants wet, because of the shocks and the scares, and Kudo is just laughing at them. She's enjoying herself. And unfortunately, after being scared out of his wits' end, Kaijiki is still depressed. Sabi, Renge, and Kudo are trying to figure out a way to cheer him up without getting Kaijiki rattled up about Hijiri and all that. But unfortunately, it didn't work, because Kaijiki noticed these 2 people either at a restaurant or something through a glass, and he overhears the news. And this scene is funny because Kaijiki was like playing charades. He was like giving creepy looks, funny looks, whatever. And he's trying to tell these 2 people with the iPhone, like, hey, can you turn it around? I want to hear and watch this because it involves who I think it involves. I need to know. So he does this weird thing. And the 3 chemists noticed what's going to happen, so they ran towards Kaijiki. And as Kaijiki was like giving this weird look on his face, these 3 chemists was like doing these signals like, no, turn it off. But I mean, Kudo, she sucks as an actor. I'm sorry. At least Sabimaru and Renge are like giving these expressions like, hey, do not, like, turn it around, like, stop. And Kudo was like, giving an X, and it's just like this passive look on her face. She's wooden. I'm sorry, she is wooden. But they failed, and Kaijiki now knows that this arsonist is Hijiri's brother, and she is somewhere. She could be in danger. So he stopped with the moaning and groaning and decides that, hey, I need to find my crush and save her from her Ebro brother. And he goes to God only knows where, which eventually he discovers where they are eventually. I know suspension of disbelief here, but it's just, none of this makes any sense, but it's Kamen Rider. So Kaijiki is out there trying to find her and rescue her. And then you have this next scene with Hotaro and Minato Sensei already pinpoint where they are. Tsurugi then tells his little sister, after reminiscing, that apparently, he got sick and tired of hearing and receiving praises of him being the good brother, taking care of his little sister. He got sick and tired of it, and apparently lighting things on fire sets him free. And he also says to his little sister that those two balls of green flame, it could be me burning things up. And after that blow, um he tried to burn his little sister on fire. And poor Hijiri, she is in shock to hear all these things, and just being surrounded by flames. Um, and then he gets to transform into a battery malgam, and he tries to finish the job. Luckily, Hotaro came in and saves her. And then you have Kaijiki and the others. Somehow, some way, they found the factory. Maybe they had the Kimi radar that helped pinpoint where the captives were. So okay, I'll give them that. Um, and they caught up with each other. And poor Hijiri, she's still in shock. While you have while one is in shock, the other was in awe because Kaijiki was like, I'm seeing my hero, the hero of justice, the Kamen Rider. I'm seeing him for the first time in real time. But however, it was awkward because you see Hotaro being crushed by this battery malgam, so he is getting the hug of death. The others are trying to put away the fire using their rings of power. Unfortunately, their rings are not powerful enough to make the fire stop because the flames were too powerful. So luckily for Hotaro, he gets words of encouragement from his best friend, and this is where he breaks free from the hug of death. Renge and Sabi gives 2 new Kemi cards to Hotaro, and he gets a new form called Haikisu Rose. And in this form, he uses it to unleash water on the flames. They get quenched, and then he takes the battle to the malgam. He defeats it. And this is where we get a shocking twist. After Hotaro defeats the evil arsonist, you get to see the Kemi just trying to break free and get inside the cart. But next thing you know, you see this dark cloud capturing the Kemi and goes straight into Hijiri. And you see this look on her face, tears look like black tears coming out from her eyes. She's full of malice because, come on, her own brother tried to kill her, tried to burn her alive, and then tells and gets told that, hey, that could be me burning things up. And yeah, I'm sick and tired of taking care of you and being a good brother. Like, if that doesn't give you malice, hatred, I don't know what is. And she becomes the new battery malgam, and she goes berserk. She tries to kill her own brother. Luckily for him, you have Hotaro and you have the chemist. Let's see. Yeah, so the chemist. Well, before that, I'm getting way too ahead of myself here. So the chemist protected the arsonist first, but then Hijiri got pissed, so she turned her attention towards the alchemist, and they successfully blocked her attack. Unfortunately, her attacks became too powerful that even to the point where the rings do not work anymore. And this is where Minato Sensei is trying to mend the rings. And then she turns back to her attention to her brother. Again, she launches her attack. But then, of course, Hotaro steps in, protects him, and then Gold Dash comes in, and then he turns back to his first new form, the Gold Mecha, and becomes a lightning rod. Sorry. However, even though he is resistant towards electricity, he still takes damage. All hope seems lost here. Poor Kaijiki, yeah, he is helpless. But then this is where Hotaro gives the title, the baton, to Kaijiki. And this is where Kaijiki was like, how did you know that she is my encounter? The only person I told was Hotaro, until he put two and two together and realized, wait a minute, the Kamen Rider that I admire is my best friend. But it didn't sink in because everything was amok, and Kaijiki was like, okay, I need to save my faithful encounter from herself, so I have to do something. So she takes out the thing that brought them together, which was the magazine. So as he is trying to walk towards her and reach out and just calm her down, and mind you, this scene reminds me a whole lot of Willow and Xander season 6 at the end. It just reminds me a whole lot of that. We have the chemists who use their magic and steal all the katanas in Kyoto and use them to become lightning rods. So as Hijiri tries to attack Kaijiki, the lightning gets directed towards the katanas. And he is slowly walking towards her, reminding her about their encounter, their love with the supernatural, all things phenomenon. And then eventually he succeeded. He calmed her down. And this is where Hotaro took his shot, defeats her, captures the new Kemi, and the rest is hunky-dory. You have Weird Sister number 3 pissed off that after 2 malgams, it was nah. I mean, I would be upset after sending 2 malgams and they still get defeated. I'll be upset too. But then her attention turns elsewhere, and that's the end of her for now. And as Kaijiki and Hijiri are having their moment, Hotaro is like wondering, like, hey, is there any way for you to not erase the memories? And of course, Minato Sensei, at least he's reasonable, and he's like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna give him 30 minutes, but that's it. So after that, you get to see the arsonist, the brotherly arsonist, just taken away in handcuffs into the van. But before he went inside, he tells his little sister, like, hey, I do remember that encounter, as those ghostly flames things. I remember, and it's not me. It wasn't me. I just said it just to piss you off. And that's where Hijiri was like, oh, she's having this satisfied look on her face, this relief. And then he goes away. And then, let me see. So we have this scene with Hijiri and Kaijiki in the shrine. They're having their last 30 minutes together. They were talking about the magazine and everything else. And this is where Kaijiki and Hijiri spots the UFO together. And this is a cool moment because even though Kaijiki wanted to see it, spot the UFO by himself, but to have your crush with you, that's like an icing on the cake. They were holding hands. They were happy. They see this UFO. and then it disappears, and once it disappears, so went their memories. And the sad part is that the moment their memories got wiped, both of them, as zombies, turn to opposite directions, and that's it. That's the sad moment. And then we get this extended scene where we get to see Weird Sister number 3 capturing the UFO. So it was a Kimmy all along. It was a upper level Kimmy. It was a level 10 Kimmy. And even though her monsters were defeated, it wasn't lost because she had completed her mission. Not only she has the card, but she has 2 straps of paper with whatever DNA it has with the last 2 monsters. I think those 2 papers are ingredients to create the Dark Driver. So that ends, and then we hit into the last scene. They're still in Kyoto. Kaijiki still has this feeling that, hey, I know something happened, but I don't know what it is. And he's still like, what is it? And then you have Hotaro is just like, I know what happened. And he turns to Kudo like, this is just sad. And Kudo was like, rules are rules. It is what it is. Oh, God, I don't like Kudo. Oh, she's so wooden. And so Kaijiki was determined, like, hey, I will spot my UFO. It will happen. The day is not over yet. We're still in Kyoto. And then on the opposite side of the road, street, whatever, you get to see Hijiri just walking towards the boy. And they walk past each other. However, what caught Hijiri's eye was the magazine. And then we had a little bit of deja vu. And Hotaro and Kudo was all happy that, hey, even after the memory wipe, love found a way, and the magazine just brought them together, and they're talking, and it's exciting. The only part that's not upsetting, but it was funny, Hopper won. I think Hopper 1 got jealous. She saw Kaijiki with another woman, and she was like, I'm gonna break this up. I'm gonna break the moment up. And then Hotaro was grabbing hold on the grasshopper, like, no, I know you like my best friend, but do not ruin the fateful encounter. I won't let you. And you see Hopper 1 just screaming and yelling, and that's the end of the episode. It was bittersweet, but however, as bitter as it was, I mean, I'm glad that Hijiri and Kaijiki got together at that final moment. I'm not sure if the couple returns later on in the season. I'm hoping that it will, but you never know. I don't think she's coming back. But it will be great to see her more often. Kaijiki, he became a hero, and it just goes to show that love finds a way. Like, if you have something that brings another together, that's cool, Love found a way through the power of a magazine. Other than that, guys, I think that's it. That's all I can say. I mean, Gacha for me is a hit and miss, but it knows how to play the emotional heartstrings. And this is one of them. I enjoyed it, and Toei, enough with the new forms. Give it a rest, a moment. Just stop it. But hey. Other than that, I think that is it. Like I said, please tell me if you've seen episode 10. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Let me know. If I miss anything, please also comment down below, because even though I have my notes in front of me, I tend to miss a couple of things. Yeah, give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And also, the reason why I decided to upload my video today is because work. I wasn't able to upload, record my video because of work, and even though I came back home, ready to record, I was just too tired. The moment I lay down in my bed, I was gone. I was knocked out. So yeah, so I do apologize, for you guys waiting this long for my video. But hey, better late than never. Thank you so much for listening, and I do apologize for the background. It's raining out there. And yeah, thank you so much. And one last thing. If you guys are wondering, am I gonna make a Riderpiece theater on Kamen Rider Legend? It's not gonna happen. One, I'm not interested, and two, it's just it's not gonna it's I don't think it's gonna contribute to the main storyline. I don't see it contributing. If it does contribute, then I'll consider it, but maybe, but but the main reason is because I'm not interested. That's pretty much that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!